Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. The death toll in Wayanad has risen to 293 with over 200 people injured following a series of devastating landslides in the hilly areas near Meppadi in Kerala's Wayanad district. This is the land of coffee growers and spice growers, and this has been at the center of man versus wild conflict. Wayanad has always been prone to climate disasters, and several reports even in the past have confirmed this. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan today has confirmed that 240 people still remain missing, while more than 1,500 people have been rescued from the affected areas. Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra were in Wayanad today visiting relief camps, meeting with the affected families. Rahul Gandhi in fact said that the repeated incidents of landslides and the natural calamities are extremely concerning and that a comprehensive action plan is urgently needed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also spoken to Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, and the Central Minister George Kurien is at ground zero coordinating relief work that's driven by the centre. In fact, the Chief Minister also chaired an all-party meeting in Wayanad to address the crisis. What we learn is that the army has constructed a Bailey bridge at Mundakai to expedite the rescue efforts. Now, this crisis, of course, has put the spotlight on how lack of oversight, timely intervention, reckless commercial activities and the lack of infrastructure planning might have amplified the effect of climate change. But why is Kerala so prone to climate disasters, and what can be done to heal the state that has so often been ravaged by floods, health crisis and also landslides? That's what we will try and understand tonight. Before we get into this discussion, we here at NDTV have started a campaign to donate for Kerala to help our brothers and sisters. We urge you to help in whatever ways you can. The details are on your screen. Also joining me on this discussion now is S. Abhilash. We have Amir Shahul. We also have Santosh Kumar, who is an MP from there. We have Brigadier Vinod Datta, and we also have C.R. Neelakantan joining us on this debate. Starting with you, S. Abhilash, you have actually studied, Wayanad in great detail. In fact, a report by you also talks about how some of these areas that have been affected, what could be the conditioning factors, what could be the triggering factors. Tell us, how do you look at this, crisis? Was this something that you expected?
Yeah, actually, our study started way back in 2019, Puthumala Kavalapara landslide event. That site was very close to this Mundakai. It's almost within 2 kilometers radial distance. So that prompted us to study in detail what is happening over Kerala in support of this recent calamities. So what we found is that during this type of events, what we found is that the cloud structure is getting strengthened, like the depth of the cloud, the total height of the cloud is increasing. So that if the cloud, because normally it starts from, during the monsoon season, the cloud starts from 0.5 kilometer all the way to 6-7 kilometer or 8 kilometers maximum. So, but during this type of event, the cloud will grow further and reach almost like 14 kilometers up. So we see that all this depth, the entire depth is being stored with water, and when it is dumping down, so that much amount of volume of water is coming towards land. So that type of extremely heavy category of rainfall, we term it as a kind of mini cloud burst, because the classical cloud burst, we are seeing that Kedarnath event now, because that is produced due to a classical cloudburst event where more than 10 centimeters of rain is received in 1 hour. But here, as far as Western Ghats is concerned, different. The Western Ghats is slightly different from the Himalayan region, because Himalayan is an active mountain region. Western Ghats is a dormant region where the Western Ghats landscape itself is being shaped by the monsoon rainfall, because what we are seeing now, the entire landscape is getting modified every year due to monsoon activity, maybe over millions of years. So the Western Ghats is already disturbed. Actually, the Western Ghats is more disturbed than the Himalayan region, because due to weathering, the natural weathering activity due to heavy rainfall, wind and all. So that is only one side. But over the years, the Ghats response, the stability of the Ghats is also being reduced over the years due to natural process itself. And along with that, if you look at the entire Konkan belt, what we found is that normally this type of heavy downpour is happening between 14° north latitude all the way up to Goa coast, like north of Mangalapuram to Goa.
Right.
That is
That's
the
an
main
important
breeding
point,
ground.
Abhilash. He's also the director of Advanced Center for Atmospheric Radar Research at Cochin University of Science and Technology. Before we go back to our guests, I have my colleague Pratibha Raman, who's been reporting, from the ground in Wayanad. Pratibha, today the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan addressed an all-party. He addressed his party men and also his workers and also people of Wayanad. There was, of course, Rahul Gandhi also in Wayanad. Priyanka Gandhi was also there. There is a lot of political action, but of course, all attention is on relief. There are people who are still missing. There is the bridge that the army has constructed. But tell us what really the situation on ground is.
In fact, I'm at a relief camp here. Yes, rescue and relief efforts continue to be the main priority. Politics aside, all of them on ground have been working towards only this. That is for the rehabilitation of all those stranded members here. So you can see at least around thousands of them who are camping at different relief camps that have been set up in and around this region. Around 18 to be precise is what I'm told. And there is food that is being prepared, medical assistance that is also given. So all these facilities being arranged with the help of volunteers as well as other officials from the department. I have with me one person who has come all the way. He is fondly known as Boshe, and he has a big announcement to make for the welfare of these people. And what is that, sir?
Yeah, I'm Boshe from Boshe Fans Charitable Trust. I want to give 100 for house, 100 piece of land, few acres of land from our Boche 1000 acre for the homeless people, to give the land to 400 people. And we are here with many ambulance of our charitable trust and all the team, Boche Fans team here, and working with clothes and food and everything. We are there, all the team. It's going on.
That is such a noble gesture. In fact, Boshe owns several properties here is what I am told. And there are some volunteers here with me as well who have come from different colleges to carry out relief and rescue operations. Let me see if I can go across to them. Well, I can't. Yeah. If you can speak 2 words about the kind of volunteering work that you're doing.
Yeah, we are from Don Bosco College, Sultan Batheri. We have been doing relief since the landslide. So we are collecting and delivering it to essential items to the camps and all over the district. So we are.
Have you ever seen this kind of tragedy? I mean, I'm sure this has been a big shock to you.
We didn't see such incidents in Kerala.
If you can speak about the shock that is reeling in your minds.
So actually, we haven't seen anything like this before. So basically, this is a shock to our district and all. So our colleges, not only us, but the other colleges are also helping the people all through the camps and all the affected areas. So we are actually trying to remove the debris, and we are teaming up to rebuild whatever is necessary.
Right. To rebuild Kerala, to rebuild God's own country, and that is exactly the message that they would like to carry as far as relief and rescue operations here are concerned. A lot of crowd there with respect to the relief operations here, but then all of them with one thing in mind, that is to help many of them, because all of them are rendered homeless, mind you, living a life of uncertainty here, and they don't even know whether their homes exist, whether their families exist, all of them. We are talking of over 200 missing persons here. In fact, several families that are here stranded, along with their children, thousands and thousands of them who are rendered homeless here. So some of the tales that they carry is pretty disturbing as well as distressing. But all of them have this one question in mind: when will Wayanad return to its normalcy? Back to you.
Thank you, Pratibha, for joining us with those very critical details. Back to the discussion. Amir Shahul, you are an author and also an environmentalist. In July 2022, Ministry of Earth Sciences told Lok Sabha that Kerala witnessed the most number of landslides in the country. The months of July and August we have seen in the past few years have become the season of natural disasters in Kerala. Has there been any sense of visible change in weather patterns? How do you assess this?
Yeah. Thanks, Vasudha. Yes, if you look at the last few years, there's been, gradual noticeable changes in weather pattern in Kerala. I think it's well documented, especially the seriousness of monsoon fury and the amount of rain which is being cast on particular areas. So I think it's well documented. I mean, but one particular noticeable feature is the kind of quantum of rain happens over a period of 24 hours or 48 hours. That's very, very unusual. And that's especially when that kind of rainfall happens on a particular a small area. I think catastrophes of this nature can happen. So we've seen quite a bit of back and forth conversation between the Union Home Ministry and the state government. I didn't want to get into that, but I think one point which I certainly wanted to point out here, talking to some of my friends in the Geological Survey of India and also IMD and CWC, I find there have been warnings. Of course, there have been alerts which is sent out, but some of these are very usual alert which goes every week and every day during the monsoon season. There's not been a very specific alert. In fact, GSI doesn't have a very strong alert system. Something which they can conclusively say that there's going to be a landslide within the next 48 hours or 24 hours. They do have a solution which is being tested now, which is probably in the last 3 months or 4 months that they started testing. And we could see that the GSI, Geological Survey of India, actually came out with an alert on the day of the event. In fact, not even on the day. In fact, post-event
Right.
on 30th evening is what GSI has issued the alert. So same as with IMD alert. IMD issued another alert, but that's again on the day of the
Right.
event, after the event. So I think the sum and substance I wanted to mention over here is multiple agencies. You have IMD, you have
Right.
GSI, you have Central Water Commission giving its alerts, district disaster management agency. And unfortunately, there's not been any serious alert.
So that's a very important point. Santosh Kumar, you are an Rajya Sabha MP from CPI. When we talk about the high-risk districts of Kerala when it comes to landslides, Kottayam, for that matter, Malappuram, or we always hear of Wayanad. Do you think that the state government has done enough when it comes to climate mitigation, or do you think that that whole balance between developmental activities and also ensuring some sort of preservation of ecology? Do you think there's been some sort of discrepancies there?
There is. In fact, I don't
yes, sir. Santosh Kumar. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
No problem.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Please go on.
Yeah. See, I was in the all-party meeting which held today in the presence of Chief Minister.
Yeah.
So at this point of time, we did not discuss much. The need of the hour is to continue with the rescue operations, and unfortunately we lost 300 plus lives so far. So we are in a bit to say what is to say. Hopefully there might be someone here and there. So that rescue operation should be continued with the full support of all of you. So at this point of time we are concentrating on that only. And of course there are lots of concerns, and Kerala is ecologically a very fragile place, and these issues.
Right. We will try and connecting with Santosh Kumar very soon. Professor Neelakantan, yes, Santosh Kumar, you're back with us. Please go on. Please finish.
One more thing. Let me add one thing.
Yes, sir.
Your reporter from Wayanad, actually I'm in Wayanad right now, was reporting that she was saying that thousands are homeless. So please don't say like that. No such panic situation. Maybe 500 or 600. Actually, we have to finally assess the situation.
Okay.
But I'm requesting you, don't create unwanted tension and panic. It's so unfortunate. 4 villages are cut off from the rest of the district, but rescue operations are on It's in full swing. Okay?
Okay.
So,
And
the
Santosh
whole
Kumar
political
said, what
party-
is also your expectation from the centre?
See, Center is helping us. No such political blame game. All are all Center state. This is a joint operation. No such political rivalry or what is to say blame game is going on at this point of time. I can say all political parties. All party meeting was unanimous in taking certain decisions. So we will continue with that. It may be political later, but at this point of time, I can tell you, we are united and Kerala will fight it out unanimously.
Okay,
That's
thank you,
what I
thank
can-
you. Thank you, Santosh Kumar, for joining us on NDTV. I know it's a busy time for you and we wish you all the luck in, in terms of rescue and relief work. Professor Neelkandan, coming back to, some of the things that the panelists said, when the Home Minister said yesterday that the centre had already given warnings to the state, is it even possible to take action? Like many say that it's also difficult to predict landslides as most of them are localized.
Actually, I am not worried about prediction or center-state conflict or anything. Anyway, what Santosh Kumar told, our first priority is rescue, relief, and rehabilitation, resettlement, things like that. That will go on. But the problem is, this is not the first time it is happening. This is repeatedly coming. From 2018 to this year, almost every year we have disasters like this. So first thing, as Dr. Abhilash told, Kerala is highly vulnerable, especially Wayanad, Idukki and the Western Ghats area mainly. When Kerala is vulnerable, we have many reports, as it is told by starting from Gadgil to ISRO. PDNA report, after flood, we have a legislature report, many studies, highly Kerala, it is saying Kerala is vulnerable. The question is, okay, warning is one thing. Whether the warning is the only thing, disaster preparedness. We call it disaster preparedness. It is not just warning. See, for example, 3 hours before, you are giving a warning to a village. What they will do? What is the, where they can be settled? Maybe we may save more lives. That I agree. But not that. Is there any system that responds to the disaster? Actually, disaster management cannot be a centralized system. It should be highly decentralized. There is an agency called HUME in Wayanad. They are given, they are taking measure of rains from 200 or 300 areas in Wayanad. They are given an advance, warning to the system, but nobody bothers. Nobody bothered. Second thing, if this is only a natural disaster because of rain, so is there any way, human intervention should be, the pattern of human intervention should be changed. That is land utilization, mining and things like that. The problem is now its questions are, all the discussions are trivialized. Whether central given or state given, state taken, things like that. The major problem is it is a repeating thing. And everybody knows it's vulnerable. Whether they have to take any action, any proactive action to considering the vulnerability in all our operations. That is a basic question. If you don't discuss that question, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, it is going to repeat.
So that's a very important discussion that we need to have perhaps more frequently. Brigadier Vinod Datta, who's a senior consultant at the National Institute of Disaster Management, New Delhi. He's also been a former Secretary of Defence Crisis Management Group. Brigadier Datta, when we talk about challenges in this operation, that is also quite concerning because, the army had to build a bridge. There are villages that have been isolated. There are at least 3,000 people who have been displaced, is what official sources have told NDTV. How difficult or how challenging is it for Kerala to bounce back from this crisis?
The task is very challenging and the weather conditions are compounding the problem because it is raining. And the army engineers have already made those temporary bridges and they are carrying out the rescue operations. But as one of the co-panelists has already said that, the early warnings have been already there. And this is not for the first time it is happening in the Wayanad district only. Mallapuram and Puthumala, they were two, sleeping towns. They were totally washed off. SDMA had given these warnings. So, unfortunately, we pay no attention to these things. And then everything is thrown on either the SDRF or NDRF or on the defense forces. Though the defense forces are doing their best, and I'm sure they will help people in Kerala floods also. I was in service that time when I was overseeing those operations. I mean, it is really, a very, very challenging task. But one of the best thing is that the Kerala people, you see, they have a directorate of volunteerism, and they will rise, and they have already done it in the past disasters or catastrophes which the state has seen.
Right.
So I'm sure there'll be a synergistic, approach where SDRF, the state resources, and of course the defense forces, they have pressed in their helicopters. The army engineers are already there. People are being evacuated. The army doctors have been also pressed into the service.
Right.
So everything is being attended to. Yeah.
Right. Abhilash, that's an important point that Brigadier Datta is also making. But when you talk about a few months ago, farmers of this of Wayanad were also talking about this unusual rise in temperatures during the day and a significant drop at nights, and the kind of impact it can have on crops. How much does cutting of trees, deforestation, or for that matter, building resorts, how much of that impacts climate change? Does that also amplify some of its damage that we see today?
Obviously, because if you look at the scale of the impact, it is not at the point where this landslide has occurred. So if you look at the landslide starting point, it is inside a forest where nobody is going there and making any interventions there. But the people are thinking that even if we don't do anything at the upstreams, because that area is a main drainage area, the river basin of Chaliyar River. So I think 25% of the Chaliyar water potential is produced from this region, the Mepadi and the Y3 part of this Y3 and all. So we don't forget about the hydrology of this region, because if you look at the slope of the terrain, it varies from 2,000 plus meters all the way down to 700 meters. So there's a very steep terrain. And over the years, if you look at in 1984, I think there was another landslide. It might have derouted that stream itself. Then there was a previous pathway for this water to flow down. So people were started encroaching there and building houses, and they have built a school on the near to the stream. And just before the school only, this river diverted, and it took its original path. That is what it happened. So people are started telling that the landslide occurred in a place where there is no intervention from the people. But if you look at the downstream, all the way downstream from Mundakai, Churalmala, all the way up to Sujipara region, all this region has been encroached with a kind of plantation activities, and the natural trees have been cut down. So that itself is a very, very big damage to this type of ecology.
Let me ask this question to Amir. You're an author and also an environmentalist. Sir, there's also this debate around Gadgil Committee report and subsequent Kasturi Rangan Committee report. We spoke to Dr. Gadgil yesterday, and he said that development has to be in such a way that locals get jobs, and you have worked with people also. So tell us, what kind of proactive measures do governments need to take, especially not just in Wayanad, but all ecologically sensitive areas like Kottayam or Idukki, and also how do you balance because it could be one thing to say commercial activities need to be stopped, but like Abhilash is also saying that habitations will keep on growing, isn't it?
Yeah, habitations will grow, but the part from the government is more and more serious. Gadgil report was mentioning about 142 talukas in the entire Western Ghats as an ecologically sensitive zone. And as this went to the next report, which is the Kasturi Rangan report, it became 123 villages, 142 talukas to 123 villages as ecologically sensitive zone. That's almost like 60% of the entire ecologically sensitive area has become fragile zones in the Kasturi Rangan report. I think, and I just wanted to mention this point, but the important thing is, once we have this three-tier system of administration, as per the Panchayati Raj, even the lowest level in the panchayat, the award committee can intervene in situations like this. When there is an earth move, a large-scale earth movement or a quarry mining, those kind of things, the village committee can intervene and stop the action.
Right.
And I've seen such things happening, but often it doesn't happen. The local administration and political intervention and so on and so forth. But I think. The question is the government doing enough to stop such kind of activities? I would say that it is not really sufficient. Government is doing its bit, but it is certainly not sufficient to stop this kind of vandalism.
Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me on this very important debate. Kerala has repeatedly suffered from landslides, floods and cyclones in recent years, highlighting the devastating impact of climate change. And in fact, an assessment of rainfall in Kerala makes it very clear that landslides have become an important and inevitable tragedy in the state. But of course, numbers of casualties in the landslides that occurred yesterday are much higher than one would have imagined, which is why at NDTV we have started a campaign to donate for Kerala to help our brothers and sisters. We urge you to help in whatever ways you can. The details are on your screen. Also, NDTV is on ground there in Wayanad. My colleague Pratibha is there covering every single development. So keep watching NDTV for more news and updates.